Hello, everyone. If you don't know who I am and why I'm here on the HarvestROI page, welcome. My name's Selim and I recently joined the team as the director of marketing, and with me is Nico. And if you don't know Nico, my mission in the coming weeks is to make sure you know who Nico is. Welcome, Nico.
Thank you, Selim, and it is awesome to have you on the team.
I'm really excited to what Harvest is going to be doing in the next couple of months. But this week is week one after HubSpot's Spring Spotlight. A
Mhm.
couple of years ago, HubSpot realized that people who are too busy doing the work are not going to keep up with the frenetic pace of HubSpot updates through, the usual channels of like us nerds, we go through the product updates and read every single detail. So
Right.
they came up with Spotlight. It was a successful implementation the last year, but this week we came up to 200 plus
Yep.
product updates. Honestly, that sounds also too much for people who are too busy checking out. And if they're not working with a partner like Harvest ROI, which you should definitely do, but if they're not working with a partner that's keeping up with everything, then we decided to give you a breakdown by topic. And today is our AI breakdown of HubSpot Spotlight. Uh, Nico, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like everybody is coming out with agents.
Yep.
And to those who don't know what an agent is in the world of AI, can you please explain to them?
I can. So it's been an evolving term, and I'm glad that it has evolved to the spot that it's getting to. It's almost there. Initially, when the term started, it was in use with basically advanced automations. So automated workflows that would also incorporate AI in some way and a little bit of programming and feel like an agent, sort of, but was really just a, hey, go complete this task, one-off thing. What we're moving into and what we're starting to see, especially in HubSpot, with the agents that are available for customer service as well as for prospecting, is something that is actually running in the background that is actually doing multiple tasks for you on multiple levels, that it's doing it again like autonomously, right? And there's direction that goes into it, obviously, and knowledge that goes into it, but the fact that it's able to handle these things on its own starts acting as what it is, an agent. We call it its own person, essentially.
So what I'm hearing is you can have a nice, smart intern that can do a lot of the work for you with minimal direction, while you can go ahead and do other things. Is that kind of what it is?
You've got it from multiple angles, right? So from the sales aspect, correct, dead on. You've got something that can tee up those sales calls for you, that can tee up those sales engagements for you, and that just makes it all the easier for you to be able to handle the engagement aspect of it and the relationship building aspect of it, as opposed to spending any time on the teeing up and the hunting. And outside of that, you've got your customer service agent, right, that also handles a lot of the bandwidth for you. So frees up your customer service teams to be able to do better and apply better tactics towards retention and towards service.
That's a great segue to talk about the first agent that HubSpot has announced, which is the Breeze customer agent. Tell us a little bit more about what this customer agent can do today and what we're hoping for it to. Why should people be excited to be using this customer agent?
So what the customer agent is going to be able to do, and what it does today, um, when you have your help bot out there currently, your help chat bot, it's not too bad, but it's very predictable. It has only a certain amount of flow to it. It's very programmed, and it's not flexible. It's easy to say that it's not a flexible framework. The customer agent, totally different. This is something that it's powered by all the knowledge that you can give it based on your website. You can give it knowledge from your knowledge base internally, and now you can even upload documents to it as well. So your where your agent is able to really soar over what you've got currently is it's not only able to facilitate questions that you would normally have in your help bot, but now it can go well outside of that. It can actually facilitate much deeper questions. It can actually serve up links to your website. So if somebody's asking about a particular product, not only can it answer the question about that product, but it can then show them where the product is on your page.
And I'm wondering, most of this sounds like it's customer facing, but are there things that this agent specifically can do for the internal team when they're not directly talking to a customer or a prospect?
For the internal team, there is use for it. I would say that the Copilot feature is a bit more of an internally facing tool for helping out the team than the customer agent is. But where the customer agent does come into play is again that handoff, right? So the agent is talking to the external facing, and then it's also bringing in that information directly to the rep internally. So there's that handoff process that happens where there's a little bit of a information transfer, right? And you're not just taking in something that is, that raw form-filled data. Now you have something that has a lot of context behind it too.
Yep. Support really hinges on having the right context, and customers don't like being asked the same question 5 times by 5 different reps. So I see this agent being very powerful at leveraging existing CRM data and pulling out all the context between all the tickets, all the conversations, all the notes on the record, making sure that everybody has the right context in front of them immediately. And it creates consistent brand aligned customer experiences. So everybody is talking the same language, everybody is responding the same way. And you end up reducing the support volume and response time without having to scale up your team to meet up with the demand. So honestly, what does it take to get started with Customer Agent today?
For Customer Agent, I believe it is available to Pro and Enterprise customers that have Service Hub. And in order to get started, honestly, it's a fairly easy rollout process. The way I would describe it is that easy to deploy, difficult to fine tune. So it is easy to get out there. Again, data, right? If it isn't clean, you're going to end up with this mucky result when it comes to speaking with this agent. And what I mean by isn't clean is, if you have things that are like a document where it internally lists page numbers, it will definitely surface something as a result where it'll reference that page number, it'll reference that document, and even try to serve up a link. So it is definitely easy to roll out, especially if you have your knowledge base internally already set up. If you have your chatbot set up, then this is just a much more advanced version of that needs a lot less care and a lot less maintenance and oversight to it. But if you haven't done it yet, if you haven't gotten into this type of stuff, I would definitely start looking for a partner to guide you through it. Hand-holding seems like a negative term, but right now, enterprises are struggling to keep up with the pace at which this stuff is rolling out. So now more than ever is the time in which partner becomes super important.
Yep. Actually, I was going to mention that partners like us who are working very hard to explore and do the R&D required to understand all these systems, not just from the HubSpot side, but from every aspect of current modern AI. We've done the reps, we've done the fine tuning, we have tried and failed so you don't have to. And we can come in and give you all of our expertise and give you a great head start. So if you need help with setting up any of these AI agents, make sure to reach out to our team so we can help. But enough of that. Let's go to our next agent. This one, when I learned about it, I was really excited because I have been always a supporter of knowledge bases.
Hmm.
And typically knowledge bases fall onto the support team to build, not the engineering team. Even though I used to be an engineer and like I always wanted the engineering team to be involved, but everybody's busy. So support teams are pushed to be creating this content. Now they don't have to
Hmm.
with the new Breeze knowledge base agent. Tell us more about it.
So the Breeze Knowledge Base agent is what is that internal facing tool for the team, right? This is now where we're able to take everything that we know internally, and what's awesome about this is if you have somebody like you say that is just joined the team, I think where this comes in really really strong is members of your team who maybe aren't quite brand aligned. This is definitely that brand alignment tool. If you have a team that seems like they're not quite up to speed in terms of internal tool use, in terms of internal documentation processes, now you have that tool. If you struggle with onboarding, maybe you don't even have an onboarding process for certain things. Now you do. Okay, so that's what this agent represents. It seems like it's such a small thing, but it's actually extremely huge if you take a look at it from a different perspective. So what's interesting about this, right, is to me, this is a job. We're
It
knowledge
is a full
based.
time job. I've
Yeah,
experienced it firsthand. It is a full time job keeping up with knowledge bases, updating them, making sure that the information that people are asking for is there. It is a full time job.
it is. And especially when it comes to using agents, the data also has to be formatted in a particular way. And I see us moving into this sort of trend too, right? Where we're going to have like basically like agent based jobs, right? That revolve around different aspects, sales, service, marketing and knowledge base. But, to get back to it, what this tool is really going to enable teams to do is keep everybody on the same page at all times. If you're writing content, now you're writing content in the same voice. If you're writing back to a customer, now you're writing back to the customer in the same brand voice if you want to use it. Or obviously, you can change it to be your own tone. But if you're trying to, again, engage customers, now you're doing it from the brand voice. You're not having to just do it out of scratch off the top of your head and hope that it aligns. When it comes to asking about content that you've done in the past, when it comes to asking about blog topics that you've done in the past, all of that content can get stored in your knowledge base now. So you have this huge historical context of things that we've done, things that we've tried that, maybe we failed. Like you can now put in documents based on like, again, based on your business performance, right? And it's all internally facing. It's all now safe kept data in one place, right? So all of that unstructured data that you've got lying around that is seriously leverageable and useful, now you can put it in this one repository where you're able to actually query an agent and go back and forth in terms of strategizing on something, right? Being able to take in reports from your email performance, right, and balance that against content that you've put out maybe in blog. And also the fact that the agent can go online means that you can just balance all of this against online research, right? So it makes it an extremely powerful internal tool.
Yeah, it's really powerful for looking through content that you already have. But I peeked a little at the product updates, and it mentioned also uh, a new feature. I think it's in beta right now, but it can surface a lot of the frequently asked questions from your tickets, from your service hub help desk,
Hmm.
and suggest some topics to write knowledge based articles about, and then also helps you put those together. Can you talk a little bit more about how that works?
Yeah. So essentially, as you're collecting now all of the data that you're aggregating, I talked to a lot of clients earlier this year and late last year about taking all of the data that you have that you've just been it's laying around and actually surfacing it and making it useful, right? So how that helps in terms of the knowledge base agent and especially the customer service agent, right, is you're able to play back and forth as you get customer service issues that come in, tickets that come in that have the same questions over and over again, rather than having them come in continuously. Now it's just going to get added as part of knowledge base. As it gets added as part of knowledge base, it's now automatically added as part of customer service agent. So you have this 360 happening where like, I don't know how it sounds. I think it's really cool. It's this crowdsourced answering service where
Yeah.
the more your customers are interacting, the more they're answering their own questions, essentially. And it becomes this really super powerful tool, in my opinion. Like, again, it takes everything to another level. Internally, you know what people are asking about, so you know what kind of content to serve up. Externally, you know that those questions are getting answered now.
Yeah.
Right. And the lift between the two is minimal at best. Right.
Yeah, knowledge bases and wikis have always been a nice to have that nobody has the time to get to. SMEs are too busy. Service teams don't have the deep knowledge and expertise to be able to build that and know how to plan and what pieces of knowledge based articles they need to build. So now it doesn't have to be a nice to have. Now it's at your fingertips. You can leverage knowledge base agent to build the knowledge base, read through the knowledge base, and help your support team give the right context at the right time. So again, if you need help implementing these agents, make sure to reach out to the team at Harvest. We're happy to help. We're, dare I say, on the cutting edge of AI in the CRM space, and you might very likely be working with Nico. So, but I can't say that. All right. I am a marketer,
Mm-hmm.
and I get excited about content.
Yep.
And HubSpot is also known for being at the forefront of content marketing ever since they championed the concept of inbound. So they also came out with an agent
Mm-hmm.
called Content Agent.
Yep.
And I will try not to share my opinions as a marketer because honestly, content takes a lot of time.
Yes.
Content, and if you're not really quick at creating content might seem like a cost center that just wastes money.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're exactly doing today. We're creating content. It helps with our awareness. But a lot of people feel like, okay, content takes too much time. We're going to outsource it. You get bad results, etc. At some point, people just say, we don't have time for it and forget it. Now, with Content Agent, you don't have to. Tell us more about it.
It's really, I mean, Content Agent, if you guys have messed with it a little bit, it's been out for a little while now, and it's had some teeth, especially when it comes to creating blog content, right? I think that's a serious strong suit for the agent is if you've never tried it, try it. You're going to be blown away. And this is one of those areas where if your brand voice is set up to be able to work with Copilot, then you're kind of doing both. If you want to start powerhousing things, then you're like doing Copilot with these agents. But on its own, here's the process for blog writing now. Topic. Okay, so like when we think about even from like an SMB large business point of view, right? You have your knowledge base agent, you have your customer service agent, you've got your content agent. Your customer service agent is gathering the questions that your customers want to know about. That's feeding it over to your knowledge base, or I'm sorry, your tickets are feeding your knowledge base. That's feeding the customer service agent, and now your content agent is able to lift off of that and able to start in order to start generating blogs for you. So now you can actually start generating content about the questions that people have, and that turns you into a resource, which starts to raise your value, starts to make you a subject matter expert, right? On top of which it goes way deeper than that. So you're putting the blog topic in, all of a sudden all the subtopics are generated for you. A couple clicks later, pretty much the entire article's there. And again, with your branding in place, really at this point, you go from being a writer, which I understand, I get it, I get it. But you go from being a writer to being an editor.
Yep.
And, the writing part of it is like, it's seriously important, but you're going to edit it anyway.
Yes.
Right. So it does help to have that just pile of clay as opposed to starting from nothing at all. Right.
Yeah.
So you have some idea to go from, and then that that turns around. We've got podcast generator, right? So all those podcasting scripts that takes a while to write them, takes a while to put the shows together. Takes if you don't have any experience in it, this is what gets you there today, right? Allows you to be there today. And I think one of the most powerful aspects of this, honestly, if you guys haven't seen this part, this is where most of you fall seriously short, but if you leverage it, you will catch up tomorrow. Customer success stories. One of the easiest ways to increase your inbound is through testimonial, is through people being able to see some sort of success stories, some numbers, right? They want to be able to see some numbers. Well, now your customer success, your content agent is able to leverage data from your CRM to actually build out a customer success story with the numbers.
Yeah, when I saw that one, I was like, yes, this is exactly why we were excited about AI years ago, because now you don't have to sift through the CRM. You don't have to do the math. It will do the math for you. It will recognize which situation is worth a case study. And I believe it integrates with the new case study tool, correct?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have all of that structure from the case study tool, and Content Agent will help you fill it out. And for those who might be asking, all right, what about SEO? I know that Content Agent is also good at that, right?
Yes, it is. And again, SEO is changing, right? So you have to understand how that works now. Paid is changing as well. And so the easiest way that you can keep on top of it is, again, by leveraging the search grader, right? So Content Agent automatically brings you a search grader tool that allows you to grade your brand and see where it falls, and then how you need to make adjustments in order to get things better, in order to see a higher lift, in order to see greater attention to your brand.
Yeah. And so this Content Agent, it's part of which subscription?
Content Agent, again, I think all agents are available at the professional and enterprise level.
All right. It's worth mentioning that this is not to be confused with Content Remix, which is a part of Content Pro and Content Enterprise, which is also on its own an amazing way to repurpose existing content you already have into new formats. So this Content Agent will help you create content from scratch, while Content Remix will help you repurpose that content. And I know we didn't touch on it, but Content Agent can also create your marketing emails. It can help you write ads, landing pages, website pages. I think that is part of Social Agent, which they announced at Inbound last year. Yep. So why should you care about this one? Even if you're someone like me who's a marketer who loves the content creation process, it saves you hours per week on first drafts and repurposing. It keeps brand consistent by learning from your content library. As skilled as you are, sometimes you veer off of your brand. This makes sure that you're sticking to your brand. And it's fully native. No external tools or logins or integrations needed. Some might argue, including you, Nico, that there are more powerful models that can be used, but the power of having everything native and feeding from each other, there is an argument to have here that you most likely have access to these agents and your data is already in HubSpot. And working with someone like Nico at Harvest, can help you make sense of all of it and integrate everything. That way you don't have to be chasing data and trying to figure out which tools to use. And we've been talking a lot about support, talking a lot about marketing. What do we have for salespeople?
So for salespeople, we've got the prospecting agent, right? And what this is going to bring into play is it's leveraging intelligence, and so there's a little bit of a combination that goes on, which again put together is amazing. So when you have Breeze Intelligence and you have the Breeze Prospecting Agent, what it's doing is it's looking at your target accounts and it's going out and it's finding for you other similar matching target accounts, right? So it's doing this extended research for you based on the framework that you have set up, and further than that, right? Once it actually finds accounts that are worthwhile, surfaces them, and starts putting them into appropriate workflows. Well, I should say sequences that can actually start to start to talk to them for you, right? Garner interest and put them through that sales nurturing workflow prior to them even hitting you. So that by the time you pick it up as a sales agent, again, this is somebody now who is already has vested interest, has already sort of been through the rigor, if you want to call it that, of reaching out, getting contacted, having that interest, having responded to some of the content that you put out, or having responded to an email that you send out. And now when you get that phone call queue, it's actually one of the easiest calls that you have to make. Or if it's an email queue, it's one of the easiest emails that you have to write. And the quality of the leads that you're getting now, it's not just, it's in the gaming industry, I believe we call this auto farming.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this is. So if you understand that term, that's essentially what this is. Like, you have this agent that's just going out and it's farming leads for you, and it's doing it in a very, again, intelligent way, because it's following what your ICP is. So we're not talking about leads that might be kind of sort of interested, right? You're going to end up getting leads that are I won't say very interested, slam dunk deals, but they're interested, right?
Yeah. People hearing that this agent can work on its own, especially sales leaders and sales professionals, might feel a little bit skittish. So let's talk a little bit more about the setup process and the human oversight, and what tools do we have to make sure that it's not damaging any reputation of a salesperson that it's trying to get leads for.
Right. So when it comes to it, I know that all of the, some of these things, yeah, prospecting agent does sound like it's this automated person, and it kind of is, right? But at the same time, it's not taking over somebody's job, because again, you have to have that human contact at the end of the day, right? And even when we talk about how things might change and how things might accelerate into the future, again, the time that gets taken away from you to be able to, or to have to do all of the digging and the researching and following up and all of that, okay, you have that much more time back. That just means that's an additional account that you can handle, right? So bandwidth just increases, right? It's really not the case where someone's going to get replaced. It's more that now I get two Selims, right? I've got you that's working on my accounts internally, and I've also got Selim that's also out and is doing the research and is garnering leads for me, right? So it really does. It gives your team superpowers, basically.
And do we have the tools to review what it's doing and make sure that it's sticking to script and all of that?
Yeah, similar to the customer agent, we've got this back end that we can look at to make sure that what's happening is what's supposed to happen, right? The responses that are being given are the responses that we want it to have. The personalization that it has is what you have set up, and especially when it comes to the handoff points, right? So you can actually set up like, hey, when should the agent actually stop engaging with my lead and let me take over?
Yeah. And I remember going through settings. There's fully autonomous mode. There's a mode where It asks for a confirmation before sending outreach. So you will have total control on how you want it to operate. And speaking of total control, if you need someone to take over setup for you for all of these agents, make sure to reach out to the team here at Harvest. Um, Moving on from agents, AI also was included in a lot of little quality of life updates, and honestly, these are the ones that I enjoy the most, honestly, because a lot of times when you're in smaller teams, there's not enough people to do the tasks that are basically documentation and follow up. And
Mm-hmm.
AI is amazing at doing both documentation and follow up. Things like AI generated description for workflows, things like AI generated descriptions for reports, etc. So like all the little things that when we're talking about implementing HubSpot, we say like you should always make sure there's a description on the new property you do. Like all of these things that make sense when we say them, but never end up doing in our day to day. Now AI can help us work through them. And I'm interested in hearing what are some of your most favorite like quality of life AI updates here in the spotlight.
I would honestly say, I mean, the description and stuff for workflows, just the descriptions in general, I really do love. So if you haven't experienced them, which you should have by now through the reporting tool for Breeze, and also there's one for workflows for the for currently for the description, but not for the name. So now we have it for the name as well, right? And it just from a back end, I don't do RevOps as much anymore, but I'm still on the back end of the system. And from a back end perspective, yes, a lot of, I wouldn't even say a lot of time, but it's like those two, like you say, quality of life, like those 1-2 minute things where when you add them up and I'm building, 15, 20, 30 workflows on it in a day, it's like, yeah, it's that much less that I have to worry about. I just click a couple extra buttons and I'm good to go, right? So definitely the naming aspect of things, especially because of the fact that the naming in HubSpot now, the engines work really nicely. They're really natural to what it is that it's trying to surface a name for. So it may not entirely solve naming convention issues, but especially in cases where you have accounts that just have like the most horrifically named workflows, right? Now
Yeah.
you can actually go in there and start putting in like maybe a couple acronyms to start and then, or, let it rename it and then toss in a couple acronyms at the start, toss in an acronym at the end, whatever it might be to create that structure around it. But at least it makes sense.
Yeah.
Every client that I talk to when it comes to naming convention, right? The first thing that they ask is like, well, what should we be doing? I'm like, well, just pretend that I started working for you today. If I'm going through your CRM, am I going to understand what every piece of content relates to?
Yep.
Am I going to understand what forms are, what workflows relate to, all that kind of stuff? If it's not named in that way, no, right? And then your onboarding just right through the roof because now all of a sudden you got to teach this lingo. You've got a whole vocabulary that you got to teach everybody, right? So that I do. I love that it takes that away. The just the AI powered knowledge base in and of itself, the knowledge base cards is a massive lift to me. Um, Really, just again, being able to help your team, and I know how weird this sounds, indirectly helping your team 24/7.
Yeah.
Right. So this means of being able to everybody being able to like chuck in, right, what's necessary, being able to, and by the way, like your customer service agent and your internal knowledge base agent and all of that, again, this is probably why you're going to need somebody to partner with you in order to help you keep all of that, keep it separated, right? And you want to
Yeah.
make sure that what's internal stays internal. But just again, being able to have that team, uh, I don't know, symbiotic sort of relationship where everyone's on the same page without having to have all the internal meetings,
Yeah.
right?
Having an SME at your fingertips 24/7 uh, is invaluable. Like
Yeah.
SMEs are always busy, and that's a good thing. They have that means they're producing value for your company, but
Hmm.
the team needs that subject matter expertise. If you build the knowledge base correctly, using all of the help from these new agents, now you have an SME at your fingertips whenever you want.
Yeah, and I think
One,
I'm sorry, the last
no, go
one,
ahead.
last one that I love the most is insights everywhere,
Yeah,
basically, right?
yeah,
So when people ask about like, well, how is Breeze affecting things? Now you can start to see that little icon popping up sort of all over the portal. When it comes to records, now it's not hidden anymore. Now it's right on that right hand column. I urge any and all service team members, if you, especially if you're RevOps and you're working on card customization, that should be right at the top of all the cards, because that's going to be that info that people are going to want to know. Certainly, you can obviously customize it, but to me, it's extremely important, especially when you're working with accounts. And then tickets. Man, service teams, you guys got like the biggest shot in the arm with all of this stuff.
yeah. Let me
Because like
guess. Let me guess. The ticket topic tagging. Yeah, this is amazing. It's really amazing.
ticket topic tagging on top of just the ticket insight, right?
Yeah,
Being able to have so topic tagging, being able to actually auto route tickets, right, based on the topic that is being discussed. That's to me amazing, because as well, you can already set up your service teams by
skill set.
different expertise, right?
Yep,
So now it's just boom, auto bucketed, like the
yep.
easiest thing ever, hands off totally in terms of routing, right? As well, now we also have finally we have the time off aspect on the back end. So now
Yeah,
it will properly not route to people who are actually off. And again, with the insights. So you're getting a ticket in. Just imagine, like, walk through the paces, guys. Like when we're talking about this stuff, I know that I've mentioned this before in other podcasts, but like again, I hate to go back to gaming on this, but it's where all of this comes from. That's just what it is. It's that technology always makes things easier as time goes on, right? It never makes things harder. So in that vein, jobs always get easier, right? Farming
yeah,
used to be really difficult. Farming's super easy now. Making cars used to be super difficult, take forever. Making cars super easy now, takes way less time. So that being said, when it comes to like ticket management and stuff like that, especially the routing aspect of it, and especially the answering of it, where it was difficult for you to onboard to all of that. Now, somebody walking in tomorrow not only can, again, leverage the knowledge base to understand what they need to, but they have proper naming conventions going on throughout the inside of the CRM. The data is a lot cleaner because of all the automated cleanup features that have just sprung up in the last 2 weeks. And now, when they sit down in order to help out with at the CS team, they're not just lost in terms of how to speak to the customers that are sending them information. Now they have
yeah,
this little bit of guidance with them that can sort of help take them through, like, okay, well, here's how I should probably speak to them, or here's how I should probably answer this issue that they've got going on, right?
yeah. All of these tools are removing the barriers uh, for you to provide a great customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming less and less acceptable to have a bad customer experience, given that all of these tools are at your fingertips. Uh, I know as a consumer and as someone who's trying to get a good experience, I don't enjoy being asked the same question 5 times. I don't enjoy being handed off 3 to 4 times because we can't figure out who can solve my problem. I don't enjoy, uh, not knowing details about my order. I don't enjoy being told to go look up knowledge base articles myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of those challenges are now being solved by these AI agents, by these AI tools, and it's becoming less and less acceptable to have such experiences. Honestly, we're talking about integration of
Yep.
all of these tools. A lot of people are very excited about Ask Breeze action and workflow, but also if you enjoy using your own trained model, now you also can connect to your, I believe, OpenAI account. I don't know if there are other models that are available in that, but I definitely know you can connect your OpenAI account
Mhm.
into HubSpot workflows.
Yeah, I was, it's a good thing to leave that towards the end. I was trying not to touch on it because it could go on forever, right? Um, if and I'm probably going to end up doing this. So you guys are really, you're going to have to pay attention to Harvest because moves moves going to be made real soon.
We're excited about what's coming in the next couple of months.
Oh yeah. Um, but one of the things that I'm thinking about is, again, if you're partnering with us and we're helping you build out your agent and we're helping you build out your GPT, then now what you're able to do is plug your GPT into your workflows and take the CRM data that you've got, take those personalization tokens, and push them over to your custom GPT. So, excuse me. So when we think about like what's happening here, right? The data that's in your CRM is going to your GPT. If you've got somebody that's building it for you, then your GPT data is also secured, staying client side. That's coming back into HubSpot. How is that like useful? What's the point of that? Okay, you've heard all this stuff about hyper personalization, right?
Yeah.
Well, how? Walk with me. You go to a website, click on a couple pages, got some URLs stored, take a look at some offer, maybe click on a CTA, maybe fill out a form. On the back end, instead of marketing team having to now like sift through, come up with, design, nurture sequence, like what are we going to do? How do we speak to this person? What have you? Now, marketing team really just plans out templates based on actions taking place, like most common actions per se.
Yeah.
And from the template, what's happening is said person who's gone to the site now gets thrown into a workflow where that URL information and the form information and all the interests that they had gets fed. So we're not even talking about personalized information. We're not even talking about like name, nothing. We don't
Yeah.
need any of that because the record is
Behavior
already in the
data.
workflow. Yep, just the behavior data. So we're sending the behavior data over to GPT and it's going to our branded model. And our branded model is now designing the email response to them.
Exactly.
So you would normally have this generic, typed out, and then it's got a personalization token in there. Awesome, blah, blah, blah. It's the same evergreen message. And when your customer gets it, they know that it's an evergreen message. Thank you for filling out the form, blah, blah, blah. Right? That's done. That's over. Now you have this thing that's, again, hyper personalized by your brand messaging, by your brand statements. It can pull data from your website. It can pull links and put it into the email that's going to be sending back to said person. That comes back into HubSpot through a workflow, right? And
Yeah.
then just gets added as a note to the record, gets sent as an email to the marketing team, right? However you want it to get put together. If you've got some people, if you got a partner that knows how to work well with you, you've got an automatically created email because that content comes right back into HubSpot, and through custom coded workflow actions, we push that into the template that you designed. And now you've got this effortless email set up ready to go out.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, the limits are your creativity and everything. Like I had this conversation a lot when UI extensions became available. Everybody's like, big whoop, and moved on. But like UI extensions are really amazing, but the limit is the imagination. When we're talking about like pulling in your GPT into HubSpot or even with Ask Breeze, there are things that used to require manual work, such as if you've ever filled a form that has a open text, how did you hear about us? A couple of years ago on LinkedIn, every marketer was like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Now we can have quote unquote real insights on how people are going through the funnel, which is great, but it created a lot of busy work to sift through human messages to be able to tag, because we love structured data. In the end, that open text field needs to become a dropdown. Well,
Mm-hmm.
now the human doesn't have to. with a carefully crafted prompt plugged into a workflow, now that open text field can automatically set the right drop down value for you,
Yep.
giving you can have your cake and eat it too, basically.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's great because of the fact that, just like you say, if your GPT is set up to understand what the translations should be, right, then it's able to make that smart decision for you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's able to add up all of that sentiment for you, right? So you can even have a GPT that, or you can have a workflow that's set up with a trigger to run weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever, that can now gather customer sentiment,
Yeah.
right?
Again, the
It's
limit
pretty
is
amazing.
your creativity.
Yeah.
And again, not to hammer it home, but if you need a team of creatives that also are exceptional at RevOps and AI tooling, make sure to work with the team here at Harvest. I wanna touch on one thing. Everybody is talking about AI. Uh, Everybody's talking about HubSpot and the new move towards AI. A lot of the focus is on, oh, we can create content, we can create images, we can create. Everybody's having fun with the the action figures. A while back, Studio
Mm-hmm.
Ghibli style was a big controversy. But here we're focused on the AI that can help you reduce your overhead and help you do more with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we're talking about, a new AI feature, it's either giving you more visibility, it's either reducing the time you're spending doing redundant work, it's helping you clean data because that's a self-serving loop because clean data makes AI better. Um, you know, uh, all of this is in service of your bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to champion things like, oh, let's do some amazing creative work. Like, no, we're focused here on making sure your investment in HubSpot is not wasted and you can do the best work you can do with the team you have and with the tools you've invested in. um, but yeah, any closing thoughts, Nico, around HubSpot Spotlight, anything that's not AI related? Um,
I mean, there is like, what isn't there in terms of like how much came out and what's in the spotlight. Outside of AI tools, yeah, definitely there are some, again, major changes when it comes to data cleanliness. So, I say outside of AI, but of course
to
it's
be
AI
fair,
related.
that is 100% AI related. Yamini last year said uh, you need to set up your data to be able to leverage these tools, or else you will be very underwhelmed by what these tools can provide. And their new acquisition of Frame AI is doubling down on turning unstructured data into structured data. So the data conversation is 100% critical for this AI push.
Yeah, and to that point, like the tools that are rolling out now, a lot of them are deduplication tools. They are data protection tools, or even when it comes to Breeze Intelligence with the form shortening, right? So we're picking up as accurate of information as possible, or just Breeze Intelligence enhancement altogether. One of the things that I've noticed actually, and it happened to me, I'm not going to say any names, but you guys are really, really big. And you called me last week and asked me if I was interested in a job. And it was so weird because when you mentioned where I was working, it was a company I worked at like, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then when I asked you which service you were using, there was a sense about it, right? And I've had other clients who say that they love going by that sense too. But if that sense is giving you old data, is that better than Breeze? Right? Like, is that better than actual new data? And when I went and looked at these, I've been doing a lot of contact investigation lately. And when I've looked at these contacts and I do this investigation, what I'm noticing more and more is that the contacts that, because we get some questions about, hey, Breeze didn't enrich this record. What happened? And when I look at the record and I go investigate, the person's unknown, legitimately. And I know how difficult that sounds, but we're talking about like these people are just digitally unknown, no social account, no LinkedIn, nothing. And yet you have these weird third parties that are surfacing information to you. So how could they surface information to you and say that it's accurate and it's up to date if that person in particular doesn't even keep up-to-date digital records with their activities online?
Yeah.
Right. So there is something to be said about like the high quality that comes out of what HubSpot is putting out. And to your point, like if the data is strong, the output that you're getting will seriously turn your head.
Yeah.
100% will definitely turn your head to how amazing these tools are.
Yeah. Using shortcuts and sketchy data vendors is definitely not conducive to good business. So honestly, if you're looking at Breeze intelligence specifically and feeling like the value is not there, maybe there's a conversation to be had on what is it actually you're getting for your money when you're going with other alternatives. And honestly, we're not here to shill for HubSpot. We trust the tools because we've tested them and we've seen that they do not jeopardize you and your business. They'd rather give you no answer than give you an answer that might put you in jeopardy. So, what I want to close with myself is, as someone, Nico, you're an AI expert. You're on the edge. I'm a marketer who's also been a HubSpot consultant. So I am excited about all of these tools. But for me, AI agents are powerful, but they demand intentional rollout. It's not just a case of turning on an agent and hoping for the best. This is definitely not the way you want to go about it. All the quality of life upgrades will quietly change how your team works. You might not notice it, but these little things will make everybody just running as a well-oiled machine. And strategic implementation will always be, shiny object chasing. Even if someone is saying there's a new tool that you need to be using and it doesn't have to be AI as well, everybody's excited about what Clay can do. But with all these new updates, you're starting to notice that some of the things that Clay can do are doable in HubSpot if you understand how these tools work together. We love Clay, but so like strategic implementation always beats shiny object syndrome. With that said, thank you for everybody who joined us here live. And this will definitely be recorded and shared and repurposed, and you'll definitely see our faces more than once. My name is Selim Malouf. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, Nico, again for helping us sift through this AI HubSpot spotlight. And I will see you guys soon. Stay tuned because we will be talking more about AI, and Harvest will be talking more about other topics you might be interested in. So keep an eye out.
Have a good one, everybody.